So next we are going to proceed to this part, which is approximation. Okay, approximation. Tapi approximation hanyalah untuk n negative or n fraction sahaja. So okay, let's try this question. So before that, I want to explain macam mana kita nak buat. Okay, nanti kita padam lah. Okay, so how to do this type of question. Okay, contoh. Okay, padam balik. So kita baca expand 1 plus 3x to the power of 1 over 3. So we know that this is a binomial expansion question. So we have to check that our n is a positive integer ataupun fraction or negative. So we know that this is a fraction. So you know what formula that you have to use. Okay, now the question said until x cube. Okay, itu sama dengan apa yang kita buat sebelum ni. Now this is the additional part by substituting x equals to 1 over 1 to 5. Okay, kita tengok next question pula. Hence, obtain an approximation of 1 over 1.8 cube. Give your answer correct to 3 decimal place. And find the value of cube 2. So for this type of question, kita nak cari an approximation of this value here. Okay, this value. So what are we going to do? Okay, kita tulislah apa stepnya. Ada 4 step, 4 big step. The first one kita sebut sebagai saver. Oh, buruknya. Okay, saver. So the first S is simplify. Okay, simplify. So what does it mean by simplify? Simplify is you have to make sure your A is 1. A equals to 1 as what we did earlier, where we do A 1 plus B to the power of n. Okay, so you have to make sure that your A is simplified already. Okay, sorry, your expansion, before expansion tu dah simplify kan. So A, itu S. So the next one is E is expand. Okay, we have to expand. So expansion tak ada masalah lah, we just use the formula. Okay, use formula. So V is the validity. Okay, validity. So we know that the formula for validity is modulus B less than 1. Okay, so next. Okay, and the last one is approximation. Okay, this is the last part. Okay, and the last one is approximation. So this is the last part, approximation. So bawah approximation pula terbahagi kepada 2, which is macam saya cakap soalan yang atas tadi. Okay, by substituting x equals to 1 to 5, 1 over 1 to 5, which is x is given. Okay, case 1. And the next one ialah, kita tengok soalan bawah pula. Hence, obtain an approximation to 1 over 1.8 square. No x is given. Okay, x is not given here. So the second case is x is not given. Okay, so this is how we use. This is how we are going to solve a binomial expansion with n negative or n fraction. Okay, so nanti kita akan tengok apa yang kita akan buat dekat dua benda ni. So let's go to the first question, which is saya ada kat sini, example 17. Okay, so let's read the question first. So the first part is expand 1 plus 3x to the power of 1 over 3. So we know that we have to use the formula. Okay, so this is the first part, including the term x cube. So sampai x cube sahaja. Okay, so by substituting x equals to 1 over 1 to 5, so we know that here your x is given. Okay, nanti kita akan pergi dekat situ. So the second question kat sini ialah by substituting x equals to 1 over 1 to 5, find the value of cube root 2. So that is the real question. Okay, to 5 decimal place. Okay, itu soalan kita yang kita nak cari. So first, we are going to start by S. Simplify. Okay, so kalau kita tengok 1 plus 3x already simplify. We have 1 plus 3x to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, here is it is already simplified. Sebab A kita dah jadi 1. Okay, so we know that we have here A is equals to 1, B is equals to 3x, and our N is equals to 1 over 3. Dekat situ. Okay, so first step tak ada masalah lah, tak payah buat apa-apa. So now we are going to the second step. Okay, saya tulis kat sini terus lah, which is expansion. So we are going to expand by using the formula. Formula dia apa? 1 plus NB plus NN minus 1 over 2 factorial dan seterusnya. So now we are going to expand until x cube. So we have 1 plus NB plus N minus 1 over 2 factorial 3x square. Okay, baru sampai square. So now we are going to expand until x cube. 1 over 3, negative 2 over 3, negative 5 over 3 over 3 factorial 3x cube plus dot dot dot. Okay, so make sure dalam belakang ni wajib ini wajib, dot 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 wajib. So now kita akan simplifikan kita punya expansion. Just use your calculator. We are going to have 1 plus x minus x square plus 5 over 3x cube. So this is our expansion for 1 plus 3x to the power of 1 over 3. Okay, so SE, settle. So the next part is we are going to check our validity. V is our validity, which is the formula is modulus B less than 1. So our B here is 3x. So we will have modulus 3x less than 1. 3 kita boleh bawa sebelah sebab dia memang positif. So we will have modulus x is less than 1 over 3, or we can also write as x is between negative 1 over 3 and 1 over 3. Okay? Okay. So very simple, sama je dengan apa yang kita buat sebelum ni. So the next part is we are going to approximate. Okay? So yang hijau ni kita akan jawab. Hijau dengan yang pink. So from here, the green color, we know that x is given. Okay, so what are you going to do? What are you going to do if your x is given? We are going to substitute x into left hand side and right hand side. Okay, substitute the given x into left hand side and right hand side. So let's see. We know that the x given is 1 over 1 to 5, and here is our expansion. Okay, this is our expansion. 1 plus 3x 1 over 3. Okay, so we are going to substitute x into left hand side here and right hand side here. So here we will have 1 plus 3, 1 over 1 to 5, power 1 over 3, and right hand side 1 over 1 to 5 minus 1 over 1 to 5 squared plus 5 over 3, 1 over 1 to 5 cube. Okay, so that is what you need to do if your x is given. Substitute x on left hand side, substitute x on right hand side. Okay, so for right hand side tak ada masalah, masuk je semua dalam calculator. Tolong kira dapat berapa, which is you are going to get 1.007937. Okay, nampak apa yang saya buat? The question said 5 decimal places. But whenever you do your working, it has to be extra 1 decimal places. Okay, extra 1 decimal places from question. Okay, so kalau soalan tu minta 4 decimal places in your working, make sure extra 1 decimal places. Okay, that is very 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 important. Kalau kurang, dia akan jadi larilah jawapan dia. Okay, sebelah kanan tak ada masalah, just press your calculator, you'll get the answer. Make sure your decimal place is correct or your significant figures is correct. Okay, has to be extra 1. But for left hand side, we are not going to calculate everything. We are only going to calculate the one inside here. Okay, inside bracket sahaja. So here 1 plus 3 over 1 to 5, you will get 1 to 8 over 1 to 5. Okay, Yang di dalam sahaja yang kita calculate. Jangan powerkan dengan 1/3. Kita akan simpan power 1/3 tu. Okay. So, only inside here yang kita akan calculate. Okay. So, from here, we are going to find our cube root 2. Okay. We are going to find our cube root 2. Kita akan wujudkan cube root 2. So, macam mana? Okay, we know that 128 over 125 power 1/3 is the same as cube root 128 over cube root 125. Okay, so yang kanan ni dah siap dah, bawa je. 7937. Okay, cube root 125, we know that it is equals to 5. So, tak ada masalah. Okay, tulis siap-siap over 5. So, now we want to find cube root 2. So, kita kena wujudkan cube root 2. So, mesti kena ada cube root 2. Okay, mesti kena ada 2 dekat sini. So, how to find the other number? So, basically, 128 divide by 2. Okay, 128 divide by 2, which is we will get 64. 1.007937. Okay, so kat sini boleh buat kat sini boleh buat approximate lah. Approximate. Okay, so now we know that we want to find cube root 2. So this one kita boleh pecahkan. Cube root 2 times cube root 64. Cube root 2 cube root 64 over 5 equals to 1.007937. So we know that cube root 64 is equals to 4. So we will have 4 over 5 cube root 2 1.007937, which we will end up with cube root 2 is equals to, okay, bawa 4/5 pergi sebelah. But now this is the final answer. Make sure you follow the question, which is the question said in 5 decimal places. So we have to give our final answer in 5 decimal places. So here you will get 1.25992. Okay, so this is our final answer. And make sure you check your calculator. Boleh tekan calculator, cube root 2. Calculator. Tekan cube root 2 tu, you are going to get the same answer. Ini cube root bukan 3 darab square root 2. Ini 3 kecil. Okay, tekan calculator cube root 2, you will get the answer 1.25992. So you can check your answer either it's correct or not. Okay, so that is how we find the approximation if your x is given. Okay, we want to find our approximation. So expand tak ada masalah. Simplify saya dah explain dalam video yang sebelum ni. Expand tak ada masalah. Validity lagi tak ada masalah. So approximation, if x is given, we are going to substitute left hand side, substitute right hand side. Right hand side kira terus. Make sure extra 1 decimal places from the question. Left hand side kira yang di dalam sahaja. Okay? Alright, so we are going to proceed to the last example here, example 18. Okay, so we have expand 2 minus x. So this is the first question, expand. Macam biasa power negative 2, so negative. You know what formula that you have to use. So the next question is obtain an approximation of 1 over 1.8 square. So there is no x is given. So what are we going to do? Kita balik tadi kat sini. If your x is not given, we are going to do comparison. Here we are going to do comparison. So how? Okay, nanti kita akan tengok. So expand dulu. So balik kepada seva kita tadi. So the first step is S, which is to simplify. So we know that here belum simplify because our A is not 1. So kita kena factorizekan. So we will have 2 minus x power negative 2 equals to, keluarkan 2, 1 tolak x over 2 power negative 2. Okay, so here you will get 2 power negative 1 over 2. Negative 2. 1 minus x over 2 power negative 2. So 2 negative 2, we will get 1 over 4. 1 minus x over 2 power negative 2. Okay? Okay, so yang mana yang kita akan expandkan ialah this one here. Okay, macam kita buat sebelum ni, ini yang kita akan expandkan. Okay, so we are going to expand that. So 1/2 stay lah. 1/2 akan stay sahaja di situ. Equals to 1/4 akan stay di sini. So big bracket, just use the formula. Okay, boleh kira terus, expand sendiri. Which is our A is equals to 1, B is equals to negative x/2, N is equals to negative 2. Okay, so now you have already expand your question. So tengok saya buat sampai x to the power of 4. Sebab soalan cakap up to the term in x4. Okay, check balik soalan sentiasa check soalan apa yang soalan minta. So the first step and the second step, which is E dekat sini, kita dah selesaikan. Okay, say kita dah selesai. And then we are going to proceed to the next step, which is V. We are going to check our validity modulus B. So B kita ialah negative x/2. So we are going to get negative modulus negative x/2 less than 1. Dalam modulus akan sentiasa positif. So this is the same as x/2 less than 1. 2 can bring to the other side. We will have modulus x less than 2. And then we are going to get x between negative 2 and 2. Okay, so now the last part is we are going to approximate. So we know that our x is not given in the question, but the question said to find 1/1.8 squared. Okay, so as I said before, that if x is not given, we have to do the comparison. Okay, do comparison. So how we are going to compare the value that the question asked with what we have here. We have 2 minus x to the power of negative 2. Okay, so we have 2 minus x to the power of negative 2 is equals to 1.8 to the power of negative 2. Okay, so here we are going to compare. Make sure your power is the same, barulah kita boleh compare. So we will have 2 minus x equals to 1.8. X is equals to 0.2. Penting, important. Check the validity. Check value of x with validity. Sebab tu kita kena cari validity kita. Contoh dekat sini, validity kita x is between negative 2 and 2. So the value of x yang kita dapat is 0.2. So dalam validity kita, so we can use the value of x dekat sini. Okay, so important, you have to check the value of your x. Okay, the validity of your x. So now we have our x. So we just proceed into substituting into the expansion dekat sini. So here we will have 1.8. Sekejap saya kecilkan sikit sini. So we will have 1.8 power negative 2 equals to. So tadi kita compare dia dengan yang ini, betul tak? Kita compare dengan yang ini. So expansion dia ialah expansion yang ini. So kita kena masukkan lah dekat dalam sini. Sorry, silap. Ini expansion kita yang ini. Okay, so kita kena masukkan value x equals to 0.2 tu dekat dalam expansion kita. The whole thing there. So we will have there it is. We will have 0.309, which is 3 decimal places as what the question asked. Okay? Okay. So, memang complicated sikit saja, but as long as you know how to find your x, then it is 5. Okay. there is one more there is one more way to find our x. Okay, as what we do here kat sini, kita boleh juga cari x menggunakan cara yang sama. Okay, saya tunjukkan dekat sini lah, orange. Okay, here, if you want to find your x here, we can also do this. Let's say if you have 2 minus x, okay, we have 1.8. We know that 1.8 is equals to 2 minus 0.2. Okay, 2 minus 0.2. So untuk buat macam ni, let's say kalau x kamu tak masuk dalam validity kita, x is not in the validity, we have to use this way to find our x. So cara dia macam mana? Mesti kena sama pattern dia. So kalau kat sini negatif, kat sini kena negatif. Okay, so we know that 1.8 is equals to 2 minus 0.2. Okay, kita kena come out dengan something. Kita kena wujudkan something kat sini. Kalau saya nampak kat sini ada 2 tolak something, so I know that 2 minus something dekat sini. So now we just have to factorize macam apa yang kita buat. So 2 minus 1 minus 0.2 over 2 negative 2. So we are going to end up with 1 over 4 1 minus 0.2 over 2 negative 2. So kalau kamu perasan, ini sama dengan ini. Okay, tak, ini 1 over 4 sama dengan ini. So what are we going to do is we are going to compare this thing here, negative x over 2 dengan negative 0.2 over 2. So we will have x over 2 equals to negative 0.2 over 2, which is we will end up negative kat sini, x equals to 0.2 as well. Okay, so kalau x kamu dekat sini, cara kita compare kat sini, cara pertama kita compare x kamu is not in the validity, we have to use this formula. Okay, we have to use this way untuk cari x kita. But penting, you have to check your x mesti dalam validity kita. Okay, so that is how to solve the expansion and approximate by using the expansion that we have. Okay, so again, saya repeat dekat sini. This is for n negative or fraction. Okay, we have seva dekat sini. As is simplify, you have to make sure your a is 1. Okay, and then we have x, we have to expand by using the formula. Validity, saya rasa ini tak ada masalah. Approximate, we have 2 type of question. First, x is given. Second, x is not given. So x is not given, we have to do comparison. X is given, we have to substitute left hand side and right hand side. Okay, so that is all. Thank you class. Ada satu lagi, jangan lupa. This is the exercise with answers. And jangan lupa, saya tak lupa, your exit ticket. Okay, so that is all. Thank you. Make sure to submit this in GC. And bye-bye.